Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Now we will get started. Just to let you know that we will start our streaming now. Can you please get everyone to stand up? Here. Oh, do have any apologies? And what a special occasion. Can I please invite Mike Davidson, a community board member, to take briefing. Right, staff for the briefing, please.
No compliment briefing. Okay.
Hi there. How's it going? Yep. Look, we'll just introduce ourselves. I'm Angus Smith. I'm the property consultancy manager.
Can you speak up, because I can't hear anything over there.
It's pretty loud, isn't it? Mind you, you're matching. So my team deals with all the property transactions, acquisitions, disposals and leasing. So we're involved in this project from a property perspective, and I'll cover off what that means through the presentation.
Yeah, kia ora koutou. For those who don't know me, I'm Claire Phillips. I manage the community planning and projects team in the community support and partnerships unit with John Purcell. My role really is managing a team of people that have multidisciplinary really, but we have the strategic oversight of the strengthening community strategy and the other community facing strategies, so their delivery and implementation and monitoring. I've been asked to do a needs assessment for Phillipstown, and we presented to the council just recently. So this is really a second go at it for community board members also to be over what's happening in that Phillipstown space at the moment. So thanks for the opportunity to provide an update. As you know, the Ministry of Education have signalled to the Phillipstown Community Centre Charitable Trust that they intend to dispose of the site, and Angus will go through in a little bit more detail about what that looks like. In the meantime, I've undertaken a community needs assessment, and that will be attached to an options report going to council in the new year. So just briefly, we've had some indications really that, well, a few indications that there is a strong desire for some kind of facility in Phillipstown. So we're just working through those options and looking at what is best suited for the size and needs of the Phillipstown community. So I might just pass over to you to talk through that technical side.
Yeah, I suspect on the next slide, but I can't.
Yeah.
Does this remote work? Or do? So just to provide a bit of background, as Clint said, we just want to, this is a presentation we gave to council, so we wanted you to get the same information and give you an opportunity to give us some feedback in that. So you're probably all well aware of the history of the Phillipstown School and the MOE's closure of that. And following the closure, they have leased it to the Phillipstown Community Trust. That's been a mutually beneficial arrangement because the trust has acted as a good caretaker for the school and the buildings. Without that, I think they would have had a lot of social and vandalism problems. So it's been a happy arrangement to date, and the trust have grown to fill what they've been given to work with. But the Ministry of Education gave us a formal notice that they're looking to dispose of part of that site. Now, they gave us that's a formal notice. They gave us that on the 1st of October, and we technically, by way of legislation, we had 20 days to respond to that. We've since got an extension of that. The first one there was 28 March, February, but given council meetings and that, we're now targeting a meeting to this community board, I think on the 2nd, is it 2nd February? Yeah, and then after that, 4th February to council. So just to go through what we're talking about, because it's a little bit of a complicated site. The Kohanga is the early learning centre that's in the top left-hand corner, is going to be retained and continue to operate as it is. Te Tukura, which is the northern site with all the green roof buildings, is a transition school unit, and that's going to be retained and continue to operate how it is. So the disposal area is roughly the area outlined in blue. There's a couple of iterations of that which include that red roof building in the top left-hand corner. So if they go straight across, they're going to have to demolish the building to subdivide that off, or they could go around it and leave the building in place. The other complication to this is the council-owned building, which is outlined in red in the top right-hand corner. And that is part of that. And affectionately, everybody refers to this as a hub, whether it's that building or the school site. So that's created some confusion. But that building has refugee services in it, and they are operating with the Phillipstown Trust. We lease that building from the land from the MOE, but we own the building. Now, that lease runs out in September next year, and that is a bit of a complication. So we are talking to MOE and the school about the continued future of that building. And there is some complications around that, which we will have to work through. It's not straightforward. So that's going to be a factor that we put into the report. The crux of the issue here is, do we want to buy all or part of that site? And what is the public work that we would be buying it for? And obviously that public work is continuation of community services. So the two issues are not mutually exclusive. And of course, we're all concerned about what will happen to the provision of community services and the work that that trust is doing in that community. So we'll need to be considering all that together, which is what Claire's been working on in terms of the needs analysis. The ministry have advised that they will consider a part sale of the building, of the land, sorry. So what does the Crown disposal process look like? So they've given us notice under the Public Works Act, Section 50, which means they could transfer all or part of that site to us for an alternative public work. So the council gets, and other public entities, get first opportunity at that. To date, and likely we are the only public entity that's expressed an interest and want to work with them and talk to them about this. If we don't buy it or don't buy part of the site, then the next obligation is to offer it back to previous owners or successors of those titles. And if those are cleared and it's not sold under Section 40 of the Public Works Act, then it will be offered under first right of refusal to Ngāi Tahu. And if they don't buy it, then it would go on the open market. This process takes a long time, and I think Claire will talk to the fact that the trust have made some precipitous early decisions about their services and what that means for the community. But we've said to MOE, we will get back to them with a decision on council's position on the Section 50 offer early March, end of February. So there's a lot going on, and there is a lot happening daily. Conversations with the trust and the groups there. We've had TSD, technical design people out today looking at the buildings and the state of those. So we did want to buy buildings with the land, what that would mean for us as well. So I'm waiting for a report on them. This is a public meeting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I probably can't talk about the valuation we've got, but we have got a valuation. It's an expensive bit of land because it's industrial, notwithstanding our valuation, which we'll articulate in the council report in the PX section. The process would be that the ministry would get a valuation as well. So it doesn't necessarily mean that our value is the value, but it'll give you a good indication. But needless to say, buying the whole site will well exceed what the council have in their budget, which is 3.7 million. And then we do not have ongoing operating costs to run what are old and rundown school buildings. So those buildings on that site have not been maintained since the earthquake. The trust have done what they can with their limited resources, but there's a lot of deferred maintenance, remedial repairs and issues. Is the issue clear?
Yeah, many of you may know the history of the trust, established in 1998. They operated out of the house that's to the right of Ferndale School at the moment, as the community centre, and that's, as Angus said, currently occupied by the refugee resettlement and resource centre. It provides, the trust is currently, providing governance for the hub, but prior to that provided community development services in a smaller, more focused local way. The hub caters for local residents, but also has operated as a metropolitan service hub as well. And so the trust have given us an indication that they are going to be ceasing operating the hub from the 31st of March. They're not closing their trust and have every intention of working in partnership with council going forward to look at a transition and something that's better served for the local Phillipstown community. So we're just working through that with them. I haven't shared the needs assessment with them and would like to do so first. So when that time comes, that needs assessment will be available for you all to have a look at as well. So yeah, we're just working with the trust at the moment to clarify their options and future aspirations and that of the community. We've had a number of opportunities to engage with the community, and they've got some quite good survey data back. And predominantly, I think everybody, 98% of those people who responded are keen to have something in Phillipstown, whether it's the same size, a lot of people want it just the way it was, or whether it's right-sized for the Phillipstown specific community, much the same as Manuka Cottage and Addington or Waltham Cottage for similar sized suburbs. So that's kind of where we're at the moment, and when more information comes to light, that will be provided to you all.
Yeah, I think, do we have a list of the groups? No, we didn't.
No.
So
there's currently 8 permanent tenants operating at the hub and about 35 casual users. So everything from exercise classes and bonsai classes and calligraphy classes and activities like that. So we're looking and working alongside the trust to support new homes for those people, new places for them to run those activities from.
yeah, it's arguable that the 8 groups that are tenants of the trust are metropolitan type groups, not necessarily, although they provide good community outcomes and services to Phillipstown, they're sort of citywide as well. And some of those are reasonably well resourced that they could find their own homes. And because of the trust decisions, some of them are working actively on that already. So as we move through this over the next couple of months to pull together a report, some of those uses down there will resolve themselves. So we're looking to bring back an option which is right-sized in terms of council's budget, right-sized in terms of the demographics of the area and the provision of community services. So it's a bit of a balancing act. I think yeah.
I think we've covered that off. That's a little bit about the emerging themes from talking with the users of the hub or those organisations that are based down there. The hub's an important community anchor. It's used for a range of things, but the issues around inclusion, diversity and connection came up more and more in the research too. People love it as an accessible place for wellbeing learning and creativity, and see it as an important infrastructure. So a lot of people talked about green space, food security. People have gone down to the local community pantry and been able to avail themselves of those kinds of supports, and quite rightly, I suppose, the community are concerned what would happen once the hub closes. So we've taken those things into consideration too. So that's pretty much where we're at. We're presenting the options report to you in February, as Angus said, and then to council on the 18th of February with an options report.
So that will be your opportunity to make a recommendation to council. So look, it's sort of a brief overview of where we're at. We're happy to answer questions, and we're also happy to receive feedback from you on any issues you think we should be considering as we work through this process and the options.
Oh, no, Emma.
Oh, so with like you talk about the population, the area, what's the expected? Is that a highly densified community? Is it being densified hugely?
Yeah.
So what difference is that going to make in 20 years, 30 years to their population? So when you're talking about providing something for the future, you're talking future numbers, you're not talking today's numbers, are you?
Yeah.
Well, there's very limited land available. A lot of the housing density has happened. Wouldn't say that there's masses of free land available for further development. There, the population's about 4,600 in that quite compact area of what defines Phillipstown. The demographics changed slightly. There's a significantly higher amount of single parents, a lot of children, youth. It was at 39% of the population of Phillipstown is now between 0 and 24. So, and interestingly, a lot of people are working too, even though it's lower rentals in Phillipstown and lower house prices. It's they're still high. I imagine people are working, and what's come through some of the surveys too is that people would appreciate it, their services time to allow for people that are working during the day and having access to evening classes, more and more of that. So yeah, it has changed significantly since the Earth, but it's still an area of high need.
It's probably not a high growth area because there's quite a bit of industrial land in there, and there's been quite a bit of intensification. So the limited amount of sites that are available for intensification won't make a significant difference on the population. So
you're not expecting
huge growth. Yeah.
Okay. And so young population children, where's the school? Is the school close?
It's on
does that have before and after school care connected to the school?
No, not that I know of.
That could be something to, if it's single parents living in the area, that could be something that you could include into it to add a real bonus for the community.
Cool, thank you so much, Claire and Angus.
Okay,
Back in touch.
we'll see you in the new year.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Yes.
All right. Okay, we finish the briefing and close up with Karakia, 5 minutes break and then come back. Yeah. Tina, te Waipapa, ite atas tangata. Koyara, erongo, papaka, ake kirunga. Kia Tina, uye, tai. All right. 4 p.m. We will be live streaming from now onwards. Can we please stand up for correct us? That's today, so no apologies, and we will get to read the declaration and final oath. Stand. Good proposal, right?
Ko au Michael John Davidson, me taku kapu tēnei. Ka tuku ahu, I taku I punu nei. Nā kawana katoa, e pana mō te hapore o Papanui-Innes-Central e runga I te mana, kua rero mai ahu. I mima o te Hawari o hapore o Waipapa ara o te Waipapa Papanui-Innes-Central Community Board. Ngāti ngā kaupā o ta tūri, kawanatanga rohi rua manu mā rua, te tūru parongo huana o kawatanga e ruha ko tahi manu. I waru te kau mā whitu me itahi atu kore rani mōnei. Might get a date as well. I mihi whakau tēnei I otatahi o tēnei rā te kau mātahi o tihi mā I te e rua manu I rua tikau mā rima.
Oh, congratulations, Mike. And
Thank you.
cool. Right. Is there any declaration of interest for today? Person, anyone? No. Can I please get a mover for previous minutes? I have a mover Victoria and seconder Simon. And everyone. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Carried. For our public forum today, we have Anne Hall and Brian Tucker from Merivale Retirement Village. Can I please invite you to the table?
Okay. Right. Thank you. Hello everyone, so my name's Anne Hall and I'm the village manager for Midlife Retirement Village in Somme Street in Mirabel. Can you hear me okay? And this is Brian Tucker, one of our residents. First of all, thank you very much for giving us a few minutes today. So we are here just to really express our concern about the state of the roading, the footpathing and the guttering. Our residents are obviously 70 plus. Across the road, we also have Haskell's Preschool, and we also back onto the entrance of St Albans Catholic School. I park out on the road and guttering, even for me, at my age, to get out of my car and navigate road can be, quite very dangerous. We have sadly had a few residents end up in the gutter because our villas, where our main building is, they walk down the footpath to the villas and many of them are on walkers. And it's actually, Brian's will explain the gradient, etc. better than I can. But it is very, very dangerous, especially in the winter. So I'm going to pass over to Brian because we've only got a few minutes, but really it's just out of concern for health and safety, really, for our residents and anyone else using that area. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Brian, as Dan has suggested. No, right. I'll just read out this email that I sent to the council on behalf of the village residents. To whom it may concern, we had a visit from my brother-in-law, who was a civil engineer for Fulton Hogan and ran many of the city council contracts for that company and was highly regarded in his field of work. He was dismayed by the condition of the whole road and footpaths, as well as the deep spoon gutters in Som Street. These need to be replaced with a new curb and channel at a higher level, which would reduce the gradient to the footpath, which should only be 3 degrees, also reduce the roadway camber. At present, this is dangerous to all users at both ends of the age. At the gate, as the gate of the St Albans Catholic School empties onto Som Street, as well as the Merivale Retirement Village, which, other than 5 properties, takes up the whole block. And there's also a preschool there. With many elderly residents trying to navigate these footpaths on their daily walks around the neighbourhood, this is a serious health and safety problem that needs to be rectified. I have attached a flyer that is dated the 11th of January 2023 that was telling us that the reconstruction was about to happen, but to date we have not seen any progress on this matter. This was over 2.5 years ago, and the road surface is so bad that if you drive at 50 km an hour, your vehicle becomes airborne. Because this is all due to the fact that the earthquakes have damaged the ground underneath so badly. So we need a whole new reconstruction of the roadway as well as the side channels and footpaths, as this is very dangerous for all older citizens who live in the vicinity.
Thank you, Brian. So unfortunately, how our villages and where all the houses are, they've got to walk quite a long way to get to the communal areas, send their loved ones in care. So that's why. Anyway, we know you've got a lot on your plate after the earthquakes with roading, but we just really appreciate you flagging that to the lovely powers of be, which are you, for priority if possible. That would be wonderful.
Thank you. And I think Vic has got a question.
I'm just keen to understand the questions for staff actually as to where this road sits in the program of works and street renewal. Is there any information available about that?
We can request it. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, Colleen.
can we also request what Brian mentioned about the work that was scheduled on the 23rd, 2023?
So you're aware, they have come and patched, hot sealed, which has helped. We've really appreciated that because it's taken out the cracks, and so it has helped, and we really appreciate that. Just so you're aware, they have done something.
It hasn't fixed the camber.
No, that will seem to do that.
Fields, they seem to go into the spoon gutter and
To do that, there's an entire street.
Yeah.
It's major. They take all everything off and start again.
We got it.
We might find out when it's scheduled for that. But
Not on the rest of it.
there's patching and there's the mix, and I don't know, maybe that's what they did in the 2023 work.
they've done that in the last 2 or 3 months, haven't
Yeah.
they?
Because it used to be up until the last change.
Yeah.
I think because it's only just come into our ward, it was
Right.
in Fendleton.
But they also suggested that they were going to tar seal the road. But that's not really going to fix it because, it's the underlying,
There's a major, unfortunately.
it's terrible.
Well, thank you, Anne and Brian, for coming.
Really appreciate the time. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Well, next we have Chris Dooley, who will speak regarding the speeding traffic on Trafalgar Street. Please.
Yeah.
Hi, sorry, something written on my phone, so I'm just read that out to you. So I live on Trafalgar Street, a street that should be calm and quiet and both safe for both children and pets. However, it is not. The street is used as a cut through between Edgware Road and St Albans. Despite multiple signs saying that the speed limit is 70, multiple speed bumps, motorists still speed up and down the road, often going in excess of 10 kilometres of the designated speed area. Just off Trafalgar Street, there is a St Albans Primary School, and on Trafalgar Street there is a daycare. So we get a high foot traffic of children going to and from preschool and primary school. The street has also quite narrow footpaths, with often on Fridays there'll be bin days, so the footpaths are even more narrow. Sorry, where was I? On November the 17th, I was cycling home from work when a SUV Tesla came speeding past me, and I saw them go up the road, and they were travelling well in excess of 40 kilometres per hour, right through some of the narrowest parts of the street. The street is often lined with cars on the other side. Unfortunately, one of the residents' cats ran out and was struck by the Tesla. The Tesla just continued on as if nothing had happened. It's really heartbreaking to see someone's cherished family pet killed like that, because someone wanted to get home a little bit quicker. Thankfully, other witnesses saw and pulled over and were able to get the cat off the road. I quickly threw my bike over the fence, grabbed a cardboard box and collected the cat and took it to the local vet, but unfortunately it was dead. So this was on November 17th. Unfortunately, someone's family pet was killed. Tomorrow it could be someone's child, and that would be a horrific thing to have happen if we remain inactive and allow this road to be continue to use as a through road or a sort of a highway to just connect two roads. I did have photos of the aftermath, the blood on the road and things like that, which I did send through to council and got a pretty response from them. You could tell it was a templated copy and paste because there's two different fonts and font sizes within the response. I'm raising it here because it is, it's a really nice street and it's a really lovely community, but it is just used as a through road. And, I don't mind that, but if people could just stick to the limit, because I've had some close calls where the road's gotten narrow and people want to just scream home. So they blitz right past me. And I often have to stop outside my house on the opposite side of the road and then walk my bike across because people are speeding and
Thank you, Chris. John, question?
Thanks, Chris. I know Trafalgar Street, and it would be definitely difficult, and it's 30's a reasonable hike through there in a car. Have you noticed? You've mentioned people getting home. Is that the time of day that this tends to happen?
So I often work quite a bit from home in the mornings, and then I'm often home in early afternoons. And I notice it is largely a morning school sort of and work rush, and then an after work / school rush as well. There is, you get people travelling up and down the road to, I guess, get between St Albans and the rest of the city quite regularly throughout the day. But there's a couple of hours where people are really concentrated, and it is often after work when people are just recklessly speeding through that area. Just the other day, one of the people on the corner of, I believe, Dove Street and Trafalgar Street, they were obviously there's school holidays and stuff going on, so they're having a little sleepover at their house with a lot of kids, and then obviously a lot of kids playing and riding scooters and bikes. I was just, very conscious of the fact that, one of those kids isn't seen from behind a car, they accidentally go out onto the road and they get collected. Not only that, there's those sort of U-shaped metal barriers right by some of the speed bumps on the St Albans end of the street, or St Albans Road end of the street. One of them had been completely flattened by a speeding car that had obviously gone off the road again.
Right,
And it's the speed bumps at that end of the road that are pretty much glorified bricks at this point. There's nothing to actually slow cars down.
Oh, good. That is a good picture of things. Thanks. So it's not so much nights and weekends it quietens down, I think.
Weekends it depends on the day. Some weekends it's just, I think this weekend was a really bad weekend for it. There's just a lot of people cruising through the street. And it's just a concern. It's sad losing a pet. I'm a massive animal lover, but I'm just dreading the day that some arrogant person wants to get home 30 seconds faster and accidentally collects a child or an elderly person, because there's a lot of older people there.
Thanks.
Thank you. Emma?
So just a little bit of background for a start. That this is an issue to do with the Northern Arterial. This road was expected to take more traffic with the Northern Arterial, and that was after it was made into a 30k zone with pedestrian and cycle priority. So it's another issue from there. But I was just I have quite a few people to me about when they bike, that they're getting pushed into cars and actually just about getting squashed against cars. Have you seen that?
That's happened to me several times, especially like I always stick as close to the left-hand side as I can without going through the gutter. But often I have cars come right up behind me until the point where I'm pretty much forced into either an empty space or a driveway. Often at the very last minute, they'll try and force their way past me, which has almost driven me into the back of many parked cars.
Yeah.
Especially outside my own house, it's a bit like,
How dare you be here?
well, yeah, it's more so just like all you're going to be doing by going excessive 10, 15 kilometers of the speed limit is get home 30 seconds quicker. Is that really worth, you know?
So what do you see any solution?
Well, yeah, there is all this larger speed bumps on the road, there's massive gaps between each one, and you can literally hear people massively accelerating and then braking leading up to them. So I think you could easily bolt in those plastic sort of speed bumps you see around parking lots and other things that force you to slow down quite a bit. You could whack a few of them in there to help slow people down. You could reinforce the ones further north of the street, because there is one just outside my neighbour's house that when people are coming down from St Albans, they've obviously picked up speed because there's nothing really slowing them down other than the narrowness of the street. And you hear them gutter out or bottom out on that. So yeah, you could rebuild or build up the ones to the north end of the street as well. I think just the frequency or other things to help slow it down.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks, Emma. We are cutting short of time now.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for coming to the board. We're moving to repetition.
Just wondering if we could request the latest speed counts down there when they were done. So just put the liquid steps out for start.
I remember the very recent
So that was recent?
very recent.
Yeah, I thought so. Thank you.
Thanks, Pauline. No deputation, and we have got a petition. So can I please invite Steve Anderson from Fresh Choice Each Way with please.
Hello, my name is Stephen Anderson. I'm the owner of Fresh Choice in Edgware. And thank you for hearing us out. So I'd just like to firstly present this petition here. I'm the official petition receiver for this board. Good.
You are now.
Self-appointed.
Yeah.
Comes with some duties, you know.
Yeah, I'll be checking.
Can you please count them?
Yeah, I think there's just a little bit under 300 signatures on there. And they were gained at a very short period of time too. There is a lot of people that actually wanted to speak about this, staff members and customers. So I sort of apologise. They would like to be here, but obviously we've got limited time. So basically this petition is concerning people that have been hanging around the village. I know some people like to say they're homeless, but they're actually not homeless. These are mainly people, you know, they've got they're on some vice, but there has been a lot of threatening of customers for money and things, and also threatening staff members as well. We have, and you know, this has been going on for quite some time, and other retailers have also been affected and have been called to us about it. So just for now, maybe if Kushla, could you just say a few words? Thanks.
Just early September it was. My name's Kushla, and I work for Stephen. Some of our customers would come in and they're so upset, and there was quite a few. There was 3 in tears on one day, and they just feel absolutely they feel that they don't even want to walk past these people that are outside our places anymore. They feel as if they're just intimidated, and they just don't. It's just really, really sad. We had one particular customer that had come in. Now she was carrying her groceries out into the car park, and one of those people got between her and leaned on the car because she was asking for money. And it was like, and her child was just getting into the back seat. So she'd come back and she said, I just can't go there anymore. I don't want to come back to this area anymore. And the staff, a lot of the young staff members, they see it every day. They see the customers in tears. They see the customers, that's their community and it's their place they want to live. But they feel so intimidated walking past them. And there's always someone there. If it's not one, it's another. And they said, what can we do about it? Well, what we did, we just got some people to put their names on a piece of paper to say how they're frustrated and they're really, really upset with what's happening at the moment. They feel as if they can't go about their daily business without feeling threatened, without feeling really lousy at the end of it. So that's it in a nutshell. I know thank you so much for letting us talk, but we've been dealing with it now for months and months. And we ask the people to leave. They're so abusive. The customers will come along and they'll say, have you got any change? One in particular is so abusive, and the words, I won't even tell you what the word she says. And there's always tears. And they're saying, please help us. What can we do? I don't know what we can do. The police don't want to know. People don't want to know. So our last resort, can you guys help us? Can we go somewhere from here? When am I going to go back and tell my customers? Over 300, it would have been a lot more than 300 had I had the time to do it.
Thanks, Patricia. Thank you, Stephen. Pauline has got a question.
Yeah. Thank you for coming in. I noticed that because I do frequent your store, and I noticed that there's quite often one of them sits in the garden outside, and it's I assume that's on public land.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that there's a lot of bare spaces in the garden, whether that's happened because they're sitting there or not. But do you think it would help if we could try and get some attention to that garden, perhaps some more plantings in there?
Definitely. Because if we can, stop people just sitting directly outside the door, I think that would be a great. Yeah, it would be definitely.
And the other ones would just sit on that seat by the tree with the light on it. Do they? Or do they hang around in the car?
That's actually our property there. So we can move them on from there, but it's when they sit outside the door that they become a problem. In other places, that have, car parks or places, non-public places, they can move them on, but because we're a freestanding supermarket, basically they can sit straight outside the door on the footpath. But certainly that garden area would help.
And just while I've got you, because we did that report about the alcohol ban that we were trying to investigate, and the recommendation was that every time something happens, an incident, that you ring 105. Is that happening?
Yes.
So the police should have some data about that.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you, Victoria.
Thank you. I'm aware that this is actually for staff. I'm aware that we've all received an email, elected members, with staff advice on this inquiry following an email from an elected member. Has that information been shared with the public, or can it be if it hasn't been, please?
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Kushla. Come on, thank you.
So can we action those two?
We find that email. We can work on the information with Victoria just mentioned.
Yes, but I'm looking at get the
passes to advice,
and then maybe some data from the police. Will they share that with us if we ask?
there's public information on the police website about victimisations all over Christchurch by,
Could we perhaps request that they come and talk to us again in a PX briefing? Because we normally have semi-regular catch-ups that would be appropriate to touch base with them. Then we could ask some sensitive questions. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes.
That was the briefing, but we could check.
Is there anyone else here for public forum? Okay, cool. We move on to briefing for Northwest Rural Program. Can I please request Rod, Juan, Jenny, Nikki, Sarah, and Tessa?
I think.
Tessa is not here. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to jump in?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, fellow board members. Thanks very much for the opportunity today. My name's Rod Wearty. I'm the wastewater delivery team leader, program manager of the Three Waters unit at Christchurch City Council. I've got some colleagues with me here today. I'll just get them briefly to introduce themselves to the table.
Jennifer Rankin, I'm the Senior Transport Project Manager. Probably met most of you before, but a few new faces.
Hello, I'm Nikki Douglas. I'm in the Strategic Communications Team Council.
Ina koutou katoa ko Aviva Tinsui toko Inoa. I'm the engagement lead for the early engagement activities. Kia ora.
Thank you. So we're here today to talk to you about what we've just termed as the Northwest Water and Roading Upgrade. So it's a package of work that's going to take place in this area over the next sort of 2 to 2.5 years. So it's quite an intensive work program. Approximately $35 million worth of work across Three Waters and transport projects. The work that we're going to talk about today, some of it, the dates around when the work's going to occur are still sort of tentative because a number of the work packages still haven't gone to market yet. So those dates will be potentially subject to change. There's going to be multiple contractors involved with the work over the course of the duration of the program. And we've partnered also with our transport team to try where we can to do a one-pass approach. And whilst that might lengthen the actual duration of the works in some locations, it still won't be as long as if we were to come back and do them in two passes. So there's been quite a lot of coordination that's going together at the moment to try and coordinate those works and get those packages delivered in parallel. And in terms of why we're doing the work, so basically it's a combination of upgrading infrastructure that's at the end of its life and up for renewal, and also there's some upsizing of some of our wastewater network as well, and that's to take into account potential future growth in the area. And then with the transport side of things, that's involved around the major cycle route and also just improving general road safety. That there shows a plan of what we're proposed to do and roughly where the work's occurring. What we've done is we've sequenced the work so that basically we're providing viable alternative detour routes that people can use. So where we're working on sort of major roads or major thoroughfares, we're basically making sure the adjoining roads aren't cluttered. So we're not detouring people from one road work into another work. In terms of the sequence of those works, that's based around generally what will be the sort of we see as and we understand as to being general commuter patterns. So we will also be looking to, when we actually start the work, that one sequence is finished before we start the next. So that's why those dates that you see they're indicative. And what I can tell you is they are almost certain to change. The only ones that are probably absolutely certain are the A projects, which are about to kick off in early new year. We've already got some work underway in the Harewood Road that I'm sure the board members are aware of, the signalisation of the Breens Harewood Road intersection. We're also doing Three Waters work in that location, and then further up the road towards the Harewood School. Then early new year, we kick off work in Morrison Ave and Langdons Road to be doing water supply work in those locations there. We've also, there'll be other team members will talk to you about some of the engagement we've done to date, but we're also, and why I say the program is subject to change, because we are modifying this program almost on a daily basis as we get feedback from certain stakeholders to what might potentially suit or not suit them in terms of when we program the works, and also looking at other works that we've got across our other council units.
I'm just going to talk about early engagement. So initially, we designed 4 engagement tactics. They are more like traffic lighting system. They will meet, door knocking, letter drop, and emails. So for business manager or owners who potentially not be on site all the time, I pre-booked the meeting and then went along with the project team to meet the key stakeholders. Then I started the door knocking to Bishopdale Mall and North Link, because those 2 malls don't have more central mall management. I quickly realized every single business on the project streets need to have a face-to-face conversations due to the complexity of the work, and they just really want to know what's the impact on them and on their customers. So this is especially important for all of businesses at Wairaki Road. They are still recovering from our recent transport and wastewater projects, as well as the impacts of COVID-19 pandemic. Emails was also sent to emergency services, ECAN, the surrounding organizations, advocates, church, schools. Overall, in last 2 weeks, we carried out 23 key stakeholder meetings, over 220 documents, and 73 emails. So across the board, communities have welcomed the opportunities to early engage with us, and they really appreciate the opportunities, and we came out to chat with them. They understand the projects are very essential, and they generally really support it, but they would like to see coordinated effort from us, and that was exactly the reason we designed the package of work. Kia ora. Oh, actually, sorry, one more slide. There are some key concerns raised. The first one is accessibility. The restricted traffic flow to businesses. And then the second one is reduce the accessibility due to the closure or alternate entry points. Then limited car parking, discourage customers from visiting, unable to get to appointments on time, especially for health clinic. Temporary loss of water supply, the congestion and safety concerns during school drop-off and pick-up time. Lastly, they would appreciate for a clearer and more authentic conversation from us.
Yes, so we are taking a sort of organisational-wide collaboration to communicating on this and how we're actually delivering these projects. So as I've said before, it involves both the transport unit and Three Waters unit. We're also getting some great support from our engagement and communications teams. And I might just also ask Nikki just to talk about in a moment about what we're actually posting on the council's website, where people can go and find more information. And I'd suggest that if we go there and have a look, basically to sort of keep going back in there, because it is being updated and it is being altered as we get more information back. For example, work that we're doing, or we're proposing to do on Wairaki Road. We've already been working there previously last year, and we know what the impact was on some of those businesses. We've got some work that's starting in Memorial Ave and part of Greers Road early New Year, so straight after Christmas for the water supply there. Some feedback we got from the shops up at the corner of Wairaki Road and Greers Road was, and that was part of the work that Ava and Gemma had done when they went out, talked to those shop owners, and they said, look, we'd far rather that you just come here once and rather than come back multiple times. So that's an example where we're already basically in the process of engaging the contractor, and we've had to alter those works, so we stopped short of that location just to try and reduce that impact. Additional other work that we're doing is there's going to be some upgrades in terms of signal upgrades to a number of intersections generally within that sort of Wairaki area and nearby. And that's to provide, when we're having to do alternative routes and do detours, to extend, for example, right turn arrows and things like that, which is also going to help with congestion. But I might also ask Nikki just to talk about our plan where we're sort of communicating more externally through our website and that.
How do you make the presentation onto the console? I'm just going to give a brief overview of the communications and marketing approach, which is really designed to address that last point on the previous slide, and that's the need for timely, clear and accurate information. So even though we're quite early in the program, we don't have all the details. We are working on the basis that we need to share as much as we can, as early as we can. We've created a web page. We have a newsletter sign up already established with more than 50 subscriptions so far. And we're planning our first newsletter sometime next week. We issued a design article, and we are working quite closely with our current contractors on their communication for the two projects that are starting early in the year. We'll provide you with regular updates. We're really interested in the feedback that you might have for us today, any thoughts you have around the issues that will be particularly concerning for your communities, and how we might adapt our communications as we go to make sure we meet those needs.
Thank you. Victoria, Emma, Ashley and Pauline. Victoria, please.
You should be able to question.
I don't even know where that came from.
Thank you very much. Can I just start on the communications? I'm aware that in Papanui we have a dedicated page for the Papanui Three Waters Infrastructure Projects. This is in relation to the works that were going on over in Grasmere, and that was a recent addition to the website because of the number of inquiries about it. Is this going to drop off that menu, or will it be a separate website page? How do we navigate and how do we find it, please?
This new web page,
Yep.
It exists in the same area of the website. It has its own dedicated URL. So it's ccc.govt.nz/northwest.
Okay, go and find that. Thanks, so we can communicate that. In relation to sequencing and timing, I'm aware that with some of our projects, one of the ones that's happening over on Harewood Road, we're having a super works week. Are you intending to do any of that 24-hour approach in relation to some of these other works, particularly around Wairaki Road, given that it's a major material road?
Yes, we will in certain locations, and generally particularly where we may be going through intersections and that sort of thing. There's one of the challenges we've got is no one sort of, if you like, delivery strategy suits all stakeholders. So whilst night works may suit certain businesses and busy intersections and things like that, if there happen to be a resident close to that intersection, that's not so great when you've got heavy vehicles and things there working all night. So really we have to be reasonably adaptive, but we don't leave anything really off the table in terms of consideration as to how we operate. Essentially, we want to try and find ways that have the least adverse impacts on our residents and our businesses, But I've got to stress, particularly with our wastewater work, and it's a particularly deep service. There's no two ways about it. I can't sort of sugarcoat this. Our work is going to be disruptive, but all of our effort at the moment is actually providing for people that, unless you actually live on the route or have a business on the route, and that's why we've sequenced it in the way we have, so that we can provide people with viable alternatives where they can avoid our work site. And that has two benefits. Basically, it benefits our construction crews because it means that their productivity doesn't get impacted by having their work sites completely congested with vehicles, and it also helps with driver and commuter frustration, where they can get onto viable alternative detour routes that aren't encumbered and fuddled up with further roadworks.
Thank you, Chair. I do have another couple of questions. Am I okay to continue, or do you want to circle back to me?
Quick ones. Yeah,
a couple of quick ones. Yes, the first one's in relation to Conda Lab up there is number E. Mike Davidson will know about this. He pushed really hard to get that reinstatement works done on that street renewal, and it's now showing as to be scheduled. This was due to be done in the week after the earthquake in 2011. It's something that's been pushed out and pushed out and pushed out. Mike worked really hard to get it in the schedule, and then it got pushed out again a couple of years back. When these works initially came up, I was told that design work was this year, and then construction is next year after we were signing off the design. It's been pushed out again, and a couple of weeks ago I was told it would be 2027. This has changed again, and now it's showing to be scheduled. What assurances can you give me that this piece of work is going to be done and not continually pushed out?
There is a small section of wastewater work that we have to do on Conda Lab by Matson's Ave. It's about a 50-metre section of it, and we have to do that. We have to do that first because that effectively then provides Conda Lab as a major, if you like, an alternative detour route when we're doing all those other works nearby. But I might just defer to Rowan in terms of, actually no, it'll be Jenny, isn't it? Your work. Sorry, Jenny.
Yeah, that's all right.
Agree.
So Condon Avenue, yes, absolutely is in design phase, and that there's no question there. It's ongoing, and we will be bringing a design to you in the new year to show you where we're at with that. In terms of the construction of it, we are planning the scheduling around needing to use Condon Avenue as a potential detour route, as well as the fact that we also have some heritage constraint conditions now imposed that we need to work through. So that's why it's to be scheduled, and we can't put an accurate date on it yet, because we still have to work through how we program in using Condon Avenue as a detour route, and then where the timing of getting that consent condition through in time. So it just is a bit up in the air at the moment, and we can't provide you with accurate dates yet, but hopefully I can come back to you in January or February with a more accurate reflection of when that's looking at.
I'll appreciate that. Thanks for bringing up the detour route, because that brings me on to one of the other questions about the diversion for the number 8 bus. So if Conda Lab is going to be used as a diversion route again for quite a significant period of time, has there been any thought from the council team as to petitioning ECAN to get a temporary bus stop somewhere down that route? We worked really hard to get it in the last detour. We couldn't get them over the line on it. But it was extremely difficult, and the bus drivers were stopping anyway, willy-nilly up and down that street in a really dangerous fashion. Is there any comment there or commitment? Can you give us a commitment?
We can't give you a commitment, but we are certainly going to be having those discussions if we can.
Commitment to trying.
Commitment to trying is what we can guarantee you a commitment to try, but we can't guarantee that they will follow through with it. But we do recognise that there is that need to provide that facility. There are many people in that area that would utilise that service, and they're missing out on that service when it gets detoured. So we will be working hard to push for alternative stops.
Thank you. The last question actually is about the Greers Road, Langdons. I see that Langdons doesn't go all the way up to Greers Road, knowing that we had some major works at that Greers Langdons intersection recently. Can we safely assume that the world of works has already been done on that, and that you won't be going back and disrupting that, because it looks like it's not going up to the intersection? Can you provide me some comment? Because I think would be terribly disappointed if you were about to go and rip up that intersection again when we've just had it all beautifully done, that major disruption to that major arterial route.
Yeah, we're well aware of that, and we certainly won't be ripping up that intersection. I can't promise that we won't be going along through that route though, but if we had to go through that intersection, the only way I think we would do that, we'd do it by a non-trenchless method if we have to upgrade that network through there.
So are you saying it wasn't done at the time that you did those works? You didn't coordinate with wastewater at the same time?
Councillor, does your question relate to A, the works on Langdons that are planned for January, or E, the works that are listed as to be scheduled?
Well, it arranged to the intersection point between A and E.
Yeah, so I can confirm that the works related to A that will be kicking off in January will not be getting close to that intersection works, right? The works scheduled under E are wastewater renewals that are still in the very preliminary stages of planning on our side. We are still looking at when those works will be timed. I can say that we can confirm that in the short term, those works will be done through that intersection.
Okay.
If it does come to a point where it becomes evident that we have to do the work urgently, we will be looking at methods to limit the disruption to that intersection. To destroy it.
Yeah, thanks. I think the point that I wanted to make is that it's a shame that wasn't done at the time when that intersection was done. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Victoria. Emma.
Mine was just a comment on the work that's been done at the corner of, is it Greers and sorry. Anyway, it's great. It's made such a difference to the intersection. That's right. That's all I wanted to say is it's fantastic. Sorry, I had it up here. Greslingdons. Yeah. It's just an amazing difference to the safety perception and when you're driving through there. So much nicer.
That's all transport, but three wheelers can't take any credit.
They're gonna rip it up. Yeah, but are we talking about the same?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Oh my God. Cool. Ashley, please.
Have you kind of sorted out what kind of time frame that you may need when with Wairiki Road? And have you had much of a feedback with the stores that are allocated around Aorangi Road and Wairiki Road, as they are going to be the main shopping, then Greers Road shops? They're going to be in the trouble.
Yes, so when we did the works with transport through Aorangi, we basically did up to the manhole either side of Aorangi Road. So we don't have to do work directly outside those shops again. But when we are moving up to there may well be part of the traffic management will come into where those shops are, as basically as lead in or lead out from our work sites. When we do the Wairiki Road work, we're going to be basically doing it in intersection lengths. So the first bit of work will start from Island Road through to those Aorangi Road shops, and then they'll go in a section moving forward. So we haven't seen the full traffic management plan, so we don't actually see the traffic management plans until such time the contractor submits and we understand their work program and that. But what we do know already from the work that we've done in that location, got a high water table, and when Isaacs were there, that was the really challenging part of it. We've got sort of high water volume that we have to deal with there, and the sewer network there is reasonably deep, so it all has to be sheet piled. We are hoping that as we get further north from that project, that our water table won't be quite so bad, which will actually allow us to increase the rate of productivity. But at this stage, that's a bit of wishful thinking. We don't know if that's actually going to come to fruition at this stage. But both Viva and Gemma have been to talk to those shops. We're well aware of the sensitivities around that, and we'll be doing everything we can to reduce any of those impacts on them where we can.
I've got a second question regarding traffic safety management. Probably Conweb would be a main example. How much impact Conweb had? What are you implementing into that kind of plan so we don't have a repeat of what we experienced last time you touched Wairiki Road?
Once again, we just need to wait until we see what the contractor's traffic management plan is that's been submitted. But I guess it's something that we sort of have to work with our other traffic teams as well, as to look at what are the likely impacts on some of those detour routes. Now, obviously, the initial impact is going to be higher volume traffic, but we also know that on some of our detour routes from other work that we're doing, they do cause other impacts, like particularly where we divert the bus routes and that sort of thing. If there are speed bumps, we know that the rate of rate of speed of vehicles, particularly heavy vehicles, has an impact as well, and we do monitor that. I know there's other work sites nearby where we're in very frequent contact with ECAN, where we get complaints around bus speeds and things like that. So they're continually talking to their drivers and making them aware of where they're causing issues or inconvenience.
Cool. Thank you very much. No more questions. Thank you very much for coming and speaking to us.
Yeah, and we will keep the board updated with work as it progresses. Thank you.
Thank you. See you, Rob.
Can I ask for the link for the website to be emailed to us? I can't find the link.
I've got it here. Just put in CC.
Okay.
No, I'm on the.
Came out.
Okay, everyone, can I please get a mover and a seconder for information to be held in the briefing? Pauline and John.
The same more costs.
All right.
We're gonna move that up to,
Yeah.
we've got test.
Yeah. Lisa, please.
Kia ora koutou, ko Tessa tōku ingoa. My name's Tessa Sant. I head up the engagement team at council. I am going around the houses of our community boards, particularly for our newer members. Most of you I've met before or have met in past lives. Hello, it's nice to meet you. I'm come here today because Aviva, who is at the table, for example, is one of my team. We will come and present to you on a regular basis, and we do work on your behalf in the community, gathering community views and preferences. So just a little quick 101. I know you're short on time, so I will whiz through these. So we consult at council before, all councils, before making decisions for several reasons. They kind of fall into two categories. So firstly, because we must. There's a whole heap of legislation that tells us when we must consult, primarily the Local Government Act, but also the Resource Management and Reserves Act, and a number of other acts where it is somewhere in there in the fine print, and our legal team are really good at finding that out for us. We also have a significance and engagement policy. This is a required policy by all councils. It's within the Local Government Act. And we are working to what is now a reasonably old policy. I'm quite keen to see that updated, but like all things, these things take time. We also consult because it does help to get better outcomes for each project. So we know that communities provide exceptionally good information and intel. No one knows their own streets, parks, neighbourhoods like the local residents. So we try and glean as much information as we can. Often we go out when we've got options that we would like to test, not always, but sometimes we'll go out with two options, and it's a really, the opportunity is to find out which people would prefer. We also consult because it creates community buy-in. So especially for those neighbourhood projects where we're trying to improve amenity, parks, that sort of thing, it's really great if people can see that they have been able to shape their local community and they become champions for it. Sometimes we go out to consult because ourselves or council ask us to. So just the council engagement team, so we're a team of 10. We're dedicated to doing engagement. This is quite unique. A lot of organisations run comms and engagement advisors, whereas we're a specialist service, and I think that that means that we're able to provide a really good service. So we provide end-to-end service delivery. That is that we sit within the project team, we find as much out about it as we can so that we then become the conduit or the spokesperson on behalf of council. We have those face-to-face conversations with your residents. We pick up the phone, we answer the email. We're the ones at the market stall. We then gather all of the information, analyse the data, and for us, that's a manual process. We read every single submission in detail and we code it, and when we provide it to you as an analysis, that is a human process. We have looked at things like AI, and at the moment it's just not good enough. Detail is missed. And it also means that when we come and talk to you and we present to you, we can answer your questions because we know the detail, and we know that you do too because you'll read all the submissions as well. But it means that we can have a really good discussion about what we've heard at the table. So yeah, we will normally be the person who is sitting with the project manager here and presenting the information. And this is all to help you understand community views and preferences. So the human context. We do a great job but we work in an imperfect system, if you like. So we aim to reach those affected by or with an interest in the decision. We have a whole heap of tactics that we use to do that, but there are always barriers, and it is really important to always accept that when we come to you, our findings are not representative. For it to be representative, we would have to go and door knock every single affected and interested person and force them to tell us what they think. And we can't always do that. We don't always do that. So that is always a bit of a barrier. So we know that we hear from people who have the time, energy, and know how to get involved. And that is a surprisingly or unsurprisingly small percentage of society. As you know, our voting rates, for example, are continually on the downhill, and the same is true for us. It's becoming harder and harder for us to reach people. So we know that we normally hear from the passionate. So people who are either extremely pro something or more often people who are maybe unhappy with something. So there definitely is a little bit of assumption from people that if we say we are thinking about doing something, we're probably going to do it. So if they like it, they're less inclined to provide feedback. If they don't like it, they think, hang on, we can't have this. I'm going to have my say. And they're more likely to turn up and speak to you in person. We're more likely to hear from people when the proposals affect their everyday lives as well. So if we are talking about what's going to happen on the street in front of their house, they're much more likely to provide feedback if we ask them something about the future, coastal hazards, that sort of thing. These are not mandates, if you like. It's just information that we have to help you better place the information that we provide you, the context of the information that we provide you. Oh, sorry. And the last one, the conundrum of timing, too early or too late. So this is a line that we try to walk, and we have come up with a sort of solution. So if we go too early, if we go with a blank page, for most people, that's too hard. They say, well, we don't know what you want, or they think everything's on the table and they ask for things and we go, no, 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 you can't have that. If we go too late and we show them something that's already really well developed, they say, well, you've already made up your mind. Even if we haven't, we're just trying to test it with them. So for us, that's a bit of a conundrum. What we've found ourselves doing to try and combat that of late is we're doing much, much more double consultation. So we'll go out really early, visions and values, and then we'll come again later with a developed plan, whether it's a strategic document or something like a landscape plan, and we'll ask them, okay, here's what we think you told us, here's what we've designed, have we got it right? So we need to manage expectations. We need to make sure that consultation serves a purpose. Feedback needs to be able to influence decision-making. You've all heard it before. We gave you our feedback and you didn't listen. Now that's an unavoidable reality at times, but I think that we can help ourselves by making sure that every time we go out and consult, we're really, really clear on how they can influence the decision. So the negotiables, what are they? And it's really helpful. We won't always, but often we'll come to you before we go out for consultation. It's great for us to understand what it is that you would like to hear or what issue you would like to understand, whether they were for or against before we go out, because that's exactly the kind of thing that can help us shape our questions. When we already know what people think, consultation is not a good use of time and resource. So, for example, a lot of those sort of ma and apple pie consultations, what do you want your city to be? Well, prosperous, clean, green. We know this stuff. So that's, again, the sort of thing that we want to avoid where we can. We can't always. Sometimes there's legislative requirements, but if we can. And just an acknowledgement that no one size fits all. So you might see some consultations that look very same, but often the community is different or the stakeholders have different needs. There might be timeline pressures, requirements, the negotiables and non-negotiables. We really try and tailor our engagement planning and tactics around all of those things. So here's our kete of engagement tools. We are trying very, very much to go to where the people are and to use different ways of engaging with them. So, for example, a new thing we've had over the last few years is the token boxes, and people can vote for this or that. Those are really effective. All of those sorts of tools, especially face-to-face, is about trying to break down barriers, going into schools and talking directly with the kids, going to the markets. Invite us to your meeting. to complement that, we now have an amazing online tool there, Kōrero Mai. It's a very, very busy page most of the time. If you haven't had the chance to go and have a look at it, please do. It's got lots of great ways that we can collect feedback and display information visually. And again, it's about trying to break down barriers and allow as many people as possible to take part in our consultations. This is for Banks Peninsula, apologies, I should have updated it for you. But people are able to see where the consultations are. So this is what sits on your community board page. You'll have your own version of this. And this is just a cautionary tale. I don't know what's happened 3 years ago. I can only assume that it's because the team are so super duper. A little bit of that, what I was talking about, we're going in and consulting twice sometimes. And that online platform, being able to reach people quickly and conveniently. But what you can see there is a massive uptick in the amount of consultations in 2023, and it has held slightly increased. And I've just added Wellington City Council there for a comparison for you. Obviously, they are very similar size to us, similar size organisation and population. So we're a busy team and we really enjoy the work we do, but we are an incredibly busy team. Thank you.
Tessa? Tessa, so you're not with that, those numbers, you're not adding in the pre-engagement?
That is everything.
So that
to
is
be fair. Yeah, so
we've just been starting to do that in the last few years, haven't we?
doing it more.
So
Yeah, definitely.
why that number's growing so much quicker.
It'll be some of it.
Doesn't
Not all of it.
Yeah.
It's massive. It's 3 to 4 times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have, or does the organisation have a financial figure on what it costs us?
We're a shared service, so we don't bill our time as such. I think what might be happening is obviously every member of staff is capable of picking up the phone or knocking on a door. So some of our transport team, for example, will run smaller consultations themselves by form of, here's a letter, here's what we're planning, you can pick up the phone and give me a call if you've got any questions. We also do that from time to time, and I think what's happened is that we do it really well and we've templated, everything goes out really, really quickly. So I think some of that work might have transferred. It's a hard question, how much it costs. The thing it probably costs the most, for example, consulting versus not consulting, is time, because it holds everything up in terms of reporting. And, the sign-off for reporting alone is 6 weeks, let alone the analysis and running the consultation itself.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you. And the double consulting has been working really well, because in the old days, and some elected members, none of whom I'll name, who don't perhaps like to make decisions, will go, find which one you didn't do and go, you should have done that no matter what. So, that's really good. Thank you.
Thanks. Victoria.
Oh, thank you. Interested in those, that comparison there, which is pretty stark, recognising that Wellington's had a myriad of problems in recent years. Have you got any other comparative data against any of the other comparable size cities?
I asked Auckland for their data and I'm still waiting. But yeah, I'm interested in chasing it up, and I'm also interested in having another discussion with Wellington and finding out if they have as centralised a model as we do. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Deborah.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. We will go into staff report now, and we'll do Ryan Street parking improvements. We've got Ashley online and Jack.
Kia ora, it's just me today.
Okay.
Happy to move.
Oh, okay. I have Jake and seconded John. Referring to the table.
Oh, are we voting? We're using.
Okay, no. You want to speak to it?
Oh, I want to use
no, I can take it as read. It's all right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the question is, are we using our vote?
Yeah, we're using our tool.
We use Votindo when we have a division.
Cool.
So, seems like at the moment. I'll put the motion on the table. Everyone say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
No, just.
We'll get to play, Emma, wait.
What division on
They call it division, okay.
I don't want to be accused of wasting
Right,
council
so
money.
next we go to updated Shirley Community Facilities Design and got Selena and Meg.
Sorry, Madam Chair, I'd like to move this recommendation and through you, Madam Chair, I'd like to move the staff recommendation with 2 minor amendments, and that's reason.
And I'll second when the time is right.
I hope you've got it in the
Okay.
amendments, but
Can I foreshadow the staff recommendation?
Okay, cool. At a time now, look at that. No one help now. Okay. So if we can, Pauline, can you please look at the words with your amendments? Please.
So basically changing the flat, changing number 3, changing the flat ceiling to a raked ceiling, acknowledging that there is a higher cost to that, and then requesting that the 2 meeting rooms, the smaller meeting rooms, have an external door for access. I'm not specifying how.
internal door.
No, it's already got internal doors. They want to be able to access
Into the
those.
hall.
Want to be able to access those 2 rooms from outside, so they don't have to go through the main thing if they don't.
Well, there's other, it should be redesigned to do that.
Just, no,
No, it's
just putting a door on the outside of each room.
true. It's existing apertures.
So, and they can do that however, that works best. That means that people don't have to traipse through the other room if there's something on in there, but they can do if there's not.
But it also could work if it's redesigned products. To the room.
I'm not interested in a redesign.
I am.
And Louise.
As marked up, does that include the raked ceiling? Oh, yes, sorry, it's in black, not blue. So let's change to here.
Matt, can you please speak to yeah?
Sure. Just before that, just a couple of quick comments. So, as it is a returning report, we'll just assume that the report's been read. With me at the table to help answer any questions that do come up, I've got
Selena. Yeah, I know everyone. Hi, Ashley and Mike. Yeah, everyone else.
and
Kia ora, I'm Jason Tickner. I'm one of the parks and recreation planners for this wonderful city. Kia ora.
Just a quick note too, of course, that the report is coming back from the one that was tabled in September. With the updated design to reflect the requests of the boards made during that meeting. So with that said, we're happy to answer questions.
So where do you see these amendments doable?
Yes, yeah, so we increased, we basically did everything that was requested in the last meeting. So with the increase to the footprint,
yes,
that put the price up. We're still within budget though. Yeah.
And having these doors from outside, how would that impact to the project?
Minimum impact, yeah, we just swap 2 windows into single doors, yeah.
It's actually got big impacts on security and things like that.
So they'll be operated the same way as the main door. Yes, one.
Yeah.
We just did Selena. Do you mind, Selena, did you just say that these single external doors, is that's what you'd be?
For the 2 extras, the 2, yeah.
So that would be best to be noted in here. I'm just thinking in terms of copying the style of the other doors, some are double. Clarity.
Yeah, it would be the same joinery, so to speak, but singles instead of doubles. Yeah.
So you want
accessibility?
entertain putting like French doors in there, I'd sort of leave it open in case you wanted to.
Do we need to define what the
I
doors
want
are?
to define it, so you can do what you
Need to make
like.
sure they're accessible.
They are accessible with the, because the.
Oh, sorry, Emma.
Right around, wraps around now,
Let's just
so
look,
those next.
I was still listening to Sarina. Is it doable or not? What has been proposed
Yeah.
or
Yes.
been asked? Yeah?
Yes.
And so with the doors, I didn't want to specify what you do because you might put a single or you might put doubles in. So you can do what you like. Does that work?
Yes. Okay, cool. Thank you. I've got Victoria had a question and then Emma and Ashley.
Thanks. Just a couple of questions arising from the amended or the moved resolution from Pauline. What's the additional cost of the rake ceiling? I can't see what it is. Sorry?
106,000.
And
that's an easy amount.
Yep. And can you just confirm to us why it is that you didn't include that initially?
So the money.
That was only brought up at the September meeting, this question of
It's a
it.
new idea.
Yeah.
But was it in your recommendation for the rake ceiling? No.
No, it was from you guys.
Okay.
So now,
And the picking up on a comment that was made from my colleague here about the external doors, does the inclusion of the doors raise any concerns from a security or an insurance perspective, given that you've now got additional multiple entry and exit points to a community building? Have you turned your mind to that?
Well, we only found out about it today, so no, but I don't see how it would be any different. We're putting in security cameras already. They'll have the same type of access for the swipe card. So when someone hires it, they'll get a fold or a card, and that will be workable for that particular door while they're hiring it, and then it gets wiped until the next person hires it.
That doesn't stop them from leaving it unlocked.
Well, that's the risk with any community centre.
yeah.
Okay.
It happens at Queener.
Oh, yeah.
Emma, Victoria, have you finished your question?
Can I just clarify then? I may have picked up the wrong recommendation. So the recommendation in our agenda, sorry, I'm having trouble loading. Can you come back to me? My
Okay, sure.
IT's
Emma, you had a question?
I just pick up on the security things because yeah, it does happen at Kahinga, where I work, and just like twice in the last probably 2 weeks, the door's been left open up overnight. We're just lucky that where we are that hasn't so far, no one has come into the centre, but yeah, it costs over $500 a month to have security to come around to check all those doors, and actually they're not doing their job properly. It's a huge expense for the building, which is covered by the community group, not the council. So you probably don't know those expenses involved in having those external doors.
Can you just set them to lock at midnight or something like that? Surely there's millions.
Yeah, you can have a backup, which is what they've done.
It's manageable.
Yeah.
So you can make the doors lock
Remotely.
So what sort of cost is involved in that?
As far as I know, that's part and parcel of what we get from the supplier.
Then why don't we have them
From the security team.
The costs and that are outlined in the report in regards to the maintenance of the building include those costs. It's a fixed cost, but it's part of the contract that we have.
Thanks, Matt. Celine, would you mind opening your mic? Because
sorry,
I
don't understand that. So you're saying that the $500 a month is in the 40,000?
The arrangements that we have for those costs are in the prices that are quoted in the report.
Okay. Thank you. Ashley.
Just a couple of questions. Have you guys managed to find an entity that's going to oversee this building? Or is that going to be based on? Okay.
So the report doesn't say at the stage that there is no community yet that's going to manage the building.
So what do you have in plan to run it then? Who's going to be doing it if we've got no entity?
So work will happen between, if the board decides to approve the design, work will continue with the community to find suitable groups to run the facility. If no group is found by the time the building is built, the council would manage it as they do with other community facilities.
Another one is rake ceiling to flat ceiling. What is the cost of a flat kind of in-house instead of a cathedral looking
It's
institutional?
105 difference.
So the 105 for the cathedral, that's to do it. If you don't do the cathedral, if you do a flat ceiling, it's 105,000 less.
Oh, difference. Okay. Whereabouts are you finding a shortfall with the 40K it's going to cost you?
It will have to be managed out of existing budgets.
Have you outlined what you'll be taking away from and?
We don't have the way that funding works for the community facilities is it's a combined pool of money. So each year we have a budget set aside for proactive and reactive maintenance. So we manage that based on the needs of the whole network.
Have you done a feasibility study based on what will be coming to this community in regards to people using it? Like, what's the rate of that?
Can I just say, the point of order, Madam Chair, just that I think that they're good questions, but and you weren't here, but we have covered that ground. We've made the decision to go ahead with the centre, and the design came to us last meeting. We've just refined it at this meeting, and now we're voting on approving it and getting it going in whichever form it takes, whether it's my amendment or the original.
Yeah, no, Pauline, that's fine. Giving Ashley a minute of doubt. Yeah, good. Good questions, Ashley, though.
We could be here all night.
Now go, John.
Yes. Notwithstanding security concerns about the 2 extra doors, would they provide additional egress in the event emergency evacuations from the place?
I imagine so, but we'll be having to take this to the fire engineer, so that will be the only change that will be as fire 2 doors.
Sure.
Yeah.
Probably a bonus.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you, John. Victoria, do you have questions? I'm coming back.
No, I'm going to leave it. Thanks.
Okay. Emma.
Okay, so it's just some feedback and the questions. So why are the meeting rooms not adjustable in size? So i.e. like that is.
Emma, we have discussed on size already, don't we?
I don't think so. I mean, I've never been happy, so I'll just continue I don't think the design is good enough yet. I really do not think that this design is, I think there's a lot of flaws with this design, and I don't think that it's actually going to be, so community development, and especially at the stage that it is there in Shirley, having not been there for the last 16 years, I think the City Council and ourselves sitting around this table need to realise that the place will be developed over time, and we need to ensure that but the building is not going to provide for that at the moment, because those rooms are not the right size required for communities to do their projects, and I know this because of the building.
Thank you. I don't need.
And so
Emma, you need to stop now because.
Has there been any thought? Hold on, just stop.
No, I have to stop you. Thank you. We are only asking questions to the motion which is in front of us at the moment.
Well, I want to ask about the rooms.
So what is your question?
So was there any thought in making those rooms able to be opened up into one big room? And the other, did you think about moving the rooms to be internal, so opposite the toilet, so there is a hallway from the main entrance right down the way into the toilets, and those 2 rooms that are on the side there are actually internal, facing to the toilets, so they are entered to inside?
In response to your first question, that was, we just did what you asked in the last meeting.
It was our idea.
And the second question, I'm not sure what went through the architects.
Yeah.
And when they expanded the building.
Well, I mean, it'd be interesting to know what the architect's thoughts were around having those meeting rooms that are, you know, cannot be entered separately. And it doesn't change that, it doesn't change the it doesn't change the size or the anything of the building. It just sets, you know, like it actually sort of, it separates out that main part from those offices. So
Emma, at this stage, we can't go into detailing of the building. We had all the opportunities before.
why can't we? If we don't think the building is correct, why can't we?
I think you're the only one that wants to do that.
We had
motion on the table.
plenty of time to give feedback on it, and community was consulted as well, right?
But the community, yeah, they're not, yeah.
So we need to be mindful of time as well, and we have got a motion on table. So
we're putting together, okay, yeah.
Thank you very much. We'll go into debate.
Oh, sorry, I've just got a couple of other questions in regards to some safety issues.
Quick one. One question.
Well, I mean, it's quite major. It's quite a major thing that we're doing here. So the toilets at the back. So the toilets at the back and, you know, safety wise, looking at parents who are in the playground, and the water fountain at the back, any chance of moving that into a more visual area?
The toilets were put there, so we discussed this.
More so that probably, I mean, I don't think the toilets can actually be moved, but
okay.
You know, like, have they been looked at as far as safety concerns and the water fountain? Again, for parents using the playground and stuff like that, would that water fountain be better placed at the front of the car?
It's an easy thing to move, and that type of thing that Jason will be asking when they do that.
Yeah, through Madam Chair, we will be looking at the wider park as part of that next redevelopment project, which we are just patiently waiting for this decision or direction so we can get on and start that next level of engagement in the new year. So some of those details about what goes in the reserve and where it sits, including drinking fountains, we can iron that out at that stage and make sure it's in the best place for sit-ted and residents' accessibility.
Yeah, sorry, Jason. The drinking fountain's right on the corner, so it's completely visible from the,
Okay, right, yeah.
And sorry, if I could speak to the toilets, I think part of the reason it's landed like that and facing that way is it's hard to see in these plans, but where the playground is and where it's likely to be redeveloped, there'll be a clear line of sight if you're a parent. Thank you.
Right, yeah. So the question on the legal aspect, just reassuring because that email from Joanne Gould with the that's gone on about the legalities of the reserve. So are we happy that we are following what that reserve is required to be so we've looked at the reserve for the purpose of it, and we're happy that the purpose, this building is doing its job?
Yeah, through Madam Chair, it is a local purpose community buildings reserve, so yes, 100% fits the definition of what reserves are being invested as.
Okay.
That's my professional understanding.
Thank you, Jason. Cool. Yeah, can we will go into debate now, so I'll ask her to please. Pauline.
Look, this is an incredibly exciting day. No matter what gets designed for that area, and bearing in mind that the consultation came back with half the people wanting green space, half people wanting a community centre. So we're doing both. And I'd like to congratulate staff on coming back with this really good solution for the site. We were actually very lucky, I believe, to have retained that site. It's been sitting empty for about 15 years now after going down in the earthquake. We've retained the site, we're compromising, we're agreeing with all of the consultation with half green space, half building. I think the building is probably as big as we can make it for the amount of land that we've got there, and bringing in the 3 rooms means that there's more chance that it can actually operate on its own 2 feet once people step up to operate it. And I know that they will. I know that they will. I don't know who it's going to be. Probably brand new people in the community somewhere will step up and go, wow, this is great. Now, the reason that I wanted the raked ceiling, and I hope that the board will support that, is to actually, because it's still not a big building, it's a small building, but having a high ceiling gives you that feeling of space, also gives you more ventilation and air, and I think it's a healthier thing. We might as well do that and make it a nice building to be in. The doors on the outside, I believe security will be fine. I think we can sort that as we've been told with the cards. And it means that you can access a room without having to go through the whole building if there's someone in the big room. And I think it's just going to add more versatility to the building. This has been a long time in the making. It's not going to please everybody. We know there's people, we're getting emails, but we have to do something. And I think if we don't sign this off today, there's a huge risk that we could lose that money. The huge risk. Talking about money, I'd like to thank Mike Davidson, my colleague, and him and I were in council, and we got the budget returned to the Shirley Community Centre in 2019. Yeah, it had dropped out of the LTP. Now, we fought really hard to get that back in because we've been listening to the community. They want their centre back. We know that there's other people around the area that believe that perhaps we don't need one there, but I believe we do, because I think it serves a completely different slice of the community than does Avebury House or the Shirley Community Trust, and that's my view in my heart. I think this is going to be incredibly well-used centre, and with the road just being completed outside, when we get the building in, which shouldn't take too long to build, I think it's a quick one, and the green space, the preschool there, the primary school over the road, the ramped up half court, it's just going to be wonderful for Shirley, and it's right on bus routes, and it's just so accessible to people. So look, please support the staff recommendation with my thinking there, and let's get cracking with this. It's a brilliant day, so I hope you support it.
Thank you. Emma, you wanted to speak to?
Yes. So, I agree with a lot of what you've said, Pauline, and it is great to see this finally here on the table. Due to the fact that I have been involved in running a community centre for 20 years, I'm not happy with this design that we've got here. I don't think it works properly. And, when I look at what's being put in at Lancaster Park with all the walls that are being divided, I mean, we were told that we couldn't have those walls because they didn't work properly. Matt said that we couldn't have them because he doesn't like to maintain them, but they have them in the design at Lancaster Park. And I think that they are sorely, I looked at it last night. Okay, sorry, I'm wrong with that. That looks like it. And the design, it definitely looks like they are able to be moved. And I think that these rooms here, they are not in the right place, and they should be by the toilets to make them to be able to enter and exit. Because you're talking about them entering and exiting from the outside. They have to go outside to come inside to make their cup of tea in the kitchen. It's a Mickey Mouse outfit as far as I'm concerned, and I think that the space could be used a lot better if those meeting rooms were internal, up against the toilet, with a corridor down between the rooms and the toilet. And I think, it's a shame that that hasn't been thought of in this design. So thanks.
Thank you, Emma. Is there anybody else who would like to speak?
Sure. Okay, I'll begin by acknowledging something that's fairly important, which is that this new centre is not on anywhere near the same scale or the operational model of the facility that replaces the way back. That goes back a decade and a half, Christchurch earthquake. The insurance settlement was something like a quarter or a third or something like that of what it needed to be to fix everything in Christchurch. And Unfortunately, many suburban community facilities have shouldered that gap. It's a great shame. With that said, I'm genuinely pleased with where this design has landed. It's larger and more flexible than what was tabled earlier in the year. It now includes more rooms. It sits within a park setting that will allow it to grow into a real community anchor over time. Now, to those finer points that have been discussed by residents and board members, I want to express appreciation for the details and passion in the feedback that's come to us. While I don't support major changes like moving the building footprint to another part of the site at this late stage, given the cost, the delay, the genuine risk of the whole thing unravelling, the entire project, I do support these practical refinements that improve access and usability. And in particular, I'm very open to this idea of the secondary access to the small rooms, converting those selected windows into doors. It's a modest intervention. It solves a major functional complaint that people shouldn't have to, traipse through an ongoing meeting to get to another one. That's proportionate, it's feasible, and it gives a couple of benefits. It provides a couple of extra escape routes from the building if there's an emergency. And it provides, I should also add those two other rooms that are there, they do open up. They're double doors internally into those rooms. So they do open up significantly into the larger space. So I think let's proceed. Let's fine tune it like we've suggested, but we protect the core project. We avoid design paralysis. I believe we've done a responsible, forward-looking way to responsibly honour both the community's hopes and our funding reality. And my hope is that we don't let perfect become the enemy of built.
Is there anyone who else would like to speak to it? Okay. Just to echo John's, I would like to finish and put the motion on table for vote. Matahi, mate mahi tahi, ke ora ite hapori. Together working together, the community thrives. And past weeks, I have heard from various voices through emails and chats from the community as well, and keeping in mind last 16 years. Equally, those voices who are maybe not fully supportive to this project are valued. And today, my request is to support the motion on the table, because that would give a long-awaited wish for this community. We owe to this community from Earthquake, and we have got a chance today to make that difference. As John said, maybe not the perfect one, but better than nothing. So that's where I'll support today.
May I just close? Thank you. Thanks, John. I couldn't have said it better myself, and I didn't say it better myself. Look, I just talking about the bifold doors in the middle, they're great, but we do know that there's a huge OPEX challenges with those, and they do have them, I think, I don't know. But it's a lot of cost because they get broken all the time, and that's probably why we haven't gone there. But I just really wanted to recognise our engagement team and our staff and all the work they've done with all the everybody in the area, bringing them all together, and particularly with the children, talking to the children and giving their ideas, and also everyone involved in the design and the patience that we've had with this project. It has required a lot of patience for all of us. But it's just a wonderful day when you finally get to this pointy end. We can push the go button, and in a few months' time, we'll be at the opening. So, thank you.
Motion on the table for vote.
Should we use it? Yeah, I reckon. It won't go though.
Don't push the ring. Okay, are you? Or we can just go.
There
we go.
It looks like, close the
voting.
And approved.
Approved. So we carried. Congratulations.
I just got this champagne in my bag. No.
Thank you, staff. And we'll see you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
Well done.
Thank you. Internal doors.
as well as a corridor.
Okay, next agenda on our next item on our agenda is the Lancaster Park development and final stage of development plan. Please, Barbara. And Garrett, welcome, Garrett. Would you like to speak to the or what?
Kia ora, ko Barbara Tukuingla. So I think most of you know me from before. I assume everyone's read the report. As you would have probably seen, we seem to be aligning well with the community consultation results. And there were only slight tweaks to the one that I showed you in the info session back in September, I believe it was. So we've now gone to the final stages of Lancaster Park development, which includes the play space. And then we also have Gareth. Sorry, I should have given you a chance to introduce yourself properly before starting.
Kia ora, my name's Gareth. I'm relatively new to Christian City Council, so thank you for the opportunity to come. Yeah, I'm with Lancaster Park space as well. I'm a multi-sport.
Yeah, so we've got the multi-sports and the cricket wicket, then the bigger play space, and there are a few little bits and pieces around the park that we've all put together in the new landscape plan that is attached to the report. So we're here to seek your approval of those next stages, and specifically the playground and multi-sports and the other assets.
I'd like to move actually.
Yeah, well,
Right, yeah. Do we have anyone like have any questions? Okay.
Just a couple. I noticed a lot of playgrounds, obviously, but they don't really come with any shade sales or things like that. And I was at Lancaster Park, and it's quite an open space. Was there not a consideration of putting like a shade sale and try and actually take some of the kids playing on this equipment?
We did have a look at that, and I think there is still a lot of trees that will still go in. So we're trying to capture a lot of that with natural shade. There will also be a few shade umbrellas around the picnic areas. We've got a shelter for the barbecue space, so there will be some shaded areas as well. The big structure itself on the inside will be rather shaded. So we're trying to incorporate those pockets that actually provide shading. But in terms of shade sales, it's a bit tough, especially with that location, because it gets the really strong winds coming through.
Okay, but the trees are planted with consideration of creating shade.
Yes.
Cool. No questions? Debate?
So
you'll start again. Thank you. To Gareth. Oh, I put the motion on the table. They are?
Aye.
And we said no? No, nobody said no.
Unanimous.
Wonderful.
What a great job you've got. Beautiful down there.
Okay, so we have got Bridie online for our next one, which is Community Park Rolling Renewal Programs. Bridie?
Hello, sorry, I'm just taking myself off mute. Tends to help.
I need to go, and I want to put in my apology and for early departure. I've got an appointment, and how will the chair get home?
How will you get home? We'll find out.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, John.
Thank you.
Sorry, Bridie, we're just having a bit of Christmas farewell now.
No problem.
Cool, so Bridie, would you like to speak to the report or?
Yeah, well, there's actually just to anyone who's new on the board, just as a quick recap, I came to the board July last year just to present the capital rolling renewal program for community parks. Just went over what a renewal is. It's renewing and replacing existing assets in our network, not developing new ones. And I asked for a bit of feedback for the program, if you had any. I must have got it right because I didn't have any. So what's proposed in the report is what you saw in the plan back in July.
Thank you. Does anyone has a question for Bridie?
No.
No?
Sorry, just one question, and I know that you said this is obviously renewals, not anything new, but the Styx River Conservation Reserve cycleway. Sorry. Did you hear what I just said?
Yes, I did.
Excellent. Do you know, and I assume this is not that project, but the actual link from the Northern Corridor shared path across to some type of sealed footpath within that Styx Reserve area? Is that Redwood Springs, isn't it? Do you know if that's
It's been done? Is it the bit that's just been done recently?
what's been done, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not the link between them. Not the northern line to the northern corridor, is that what you're saying?
No, just the northern corridor onto
Northern corridor through to.
just onto some
Across the
type of
grass.
yeah. Is it done?
Yeah.
It's on this, I think, or it's either on this or being done, just.
Sorry, I interrupted there, Bridie. Can you just confirm, because my understanding, I had a resident send through some photos recently of the connection having been done across the grass where the desire line had been up in Redwood Springs, and I think that's what Mike's talking about.
Yeah, there's some line behind it.
Yeah.
Yes, everybody.
Yes.
Thank you.
Cool, thank you. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Mike. Second is Colleen. Can I put the motion on the table, please? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, look at it. All righty, next we have is our discretionary response fund, and we have got Petmore.
Had them all the yard.
Let's call him Trev.
Trev.
Season's greetings, everyone, for the start. I take it as read, the multitude of DRFs I have.
Yes.
Any questions?
Move them
All together?
move them all together.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we can
And then we
vote
can
together.
If questions.
Yeah, if we have any questions, then yes. Yeah,
Oh, just a question.
Simon and then Rick.
So just for the first one, the Saraswati Festival, just wondering if there was a date set for that.
They usually have them in February, which aligns with, I think, Nepal and India, their
Yes,
spring.
January end.
Yeah,
Okay.
January.
Just, it'd be great if elected members could be.
I'll confirm with the Phillipstown Hub tomorrow, the exact date, and I'll get back to you and send it through Mark.
Amazing.
Part of the grid.
Rick, you have a question?
Yeah, thank you. Just also in relation to that first one. Or
Bangaliana, yes.
Can you pronounce it for me?
Bangaliana.
Thank you, Bangaliana. I note from the decision matrix that there hasn't been any, there's no funding history for the past 3 years. How many years has this been running and how have they managed to fund it in the past? And
So they've, a dedicated group of people who have been funding it really out of their own pockets for a couple of years. They've used the Phillipstown Hub previously, and that is why I recommended under 2,000 because they're not full registration yet. They're working on that, and so 1,800 comes under that limit. I really would like to support them in their work, and they're committed to producing this festival every year, and it just gives them a leg up and some city council backing. So if they go to other funders, they will see that council has supported them.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I've got a question on another one.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
We are doing two together, right?
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them, yeah. So,
Mine's on 15 with the recommendation to fund deck railing and boxes. So is this, do we do that, the capital works and centres?
So this is the Village Presbyterian Church, is it? Yes, and I recommended that only the railings around the entrance, around the outside decking would be funded. I've been down there and had a look, and the children that use it and the groups and the older people that use that outdoor space really enjoy it. But there is a real necessity for some protection around that. And I see it as that the group has identified that. I've spoken to them about could they get some more funding towards that for us, and they said that they would get some funding, but they'll dedicate that to the plant boxes themselves. So they could do that in stages.
So, because the reason I'm asking actually is because the centre at Koinga really want a ramp to come down off the deck they have. And I'm not sure if they've had a positive response and whether they should put an application in for that or some of that. Do you know anything about that?
I don't, but anyone can apply.
Council said that they'll do it.
They can, so yeah. Because I think when we built the centre, they didn't have the community garden at that point, and it creates a lovely link. Otherwise, they've got to go around. Okay, so that's great. So we'll see an application at some point.
And I think the council's just said they're doing it.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you, Trevor.
Thank you very much.
So we are voting from item number 13 till 17 or 18. Are we happy with 18?
Sorry, just one other question on the fence line.
Yep.
So should it, again, is that not, is the building up to standard if it hasn't got that, the fence, the railing? Like, how far is, how high is it off the ground?
There is a reasonable drop.
So basically my point is, sorry?
With the deck, because they're mainly focusing on the deck, aren't they?
Yes.
Not so the entrance is a walkway railing.
Yes.
They're wanting it on the deck, which I've seen personally. And it's just for security for children and elderly that come out and enjoy the space, and it's really nice weather. There's no protection from being there.
Yeah, but yeah, so my point is this actually, should this be sitting on council's shoulders as the fact that the building isn't actually up to standard because it hasn't got the railing? So should it have the railing there? So why are the group having to provide something that perhaps should be there? The city council should have it on there anyway.
I guess if the board approves this, that will remedy that question.
But it comes out of our budget, not one that it should. Because, you know, like legally, if something's a certain height, it requires about
It's not a compliance issue.
It's not? That's what I'm asking. Is it, what's the height off the ground?
There's a picture just there.
Oh. I can't see the ground.
Okay, so, Emma, you good?
Oh, if you're good at spending your money willy-nilly, yeah, I am too.
Holly, please.
You just want to, I think it's number 17, the Horticultural Society one.
Yes.
And partnering with
Avery House.
Avery House Trust. So I see that they requested 18, recommended 5, and they are pending 11,000 from the Sustainability Fund. Is that double dipping?
21. I think
17.
I think information we've received recently is that the groups are able to apply to numerous council funds.
Right.
There was a kind of belief that you couldn't.
Yeah.
But apparently you are allowed to.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Are we all good? Okay. Can I please put all them in bulk together from 13 to 18? Everyone say aye.
Is it to 18 or 17?
No, 18.
Okay, 18.
Do you have a question, Vic, on 17?
No. No, I don't.
I think it's just
I think it's just 17.
17.
Who was
18 is different.
I'm Holly and Mike.
Yeah. 18 is still a DRF, but it's the board projects.
Should we just
Yeah,
do
we keep 18 out, up to.
Okay, 17, up to 17. Okay, cool. You all say aye?
Aye.
Aye. Cool. Thank you, carried.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trevor.
Thanks, Chu.
Trevor, you do 18 as well.
18. Hello, Trevor, again. So we will be looking into 18 discretionary fund for community pride garden.
This is a board bids, and previously the board has funded this. Historically, the board have always funded these, and so it's just a formal process for the board to allocate money towards it.
My question again, I'm feeling like a cracked record. When are we going to start having these as events, the garden pride and Edward Gardens and the other ones that were the community board awards.
Yep.
Community awards.
I guess in the respective community garden awards, Edward Garden Awards, for example, we haven't done those for a number of years because the initiative by the board years ago has promoted that so wide, so spread across that numerous gardens are now being developed and have been developed in that community focus.
Horticultural.
This is for the Community Garden Pride Association, the Garden Pride Association.
Yeah, so when are we going to start having the functions for these again, are we? And the community awards?
It is up to the board, but obviously there is a cost. If you have there's a cost and numbers depending on people that come with the cost that we're trying to be budget friendly, cost effective, and decided, because we did look at that, and having a big adds $45,000 or minimum $3,500–4,000.
But I mean, when we have the community boards coming to council once a month and we see all the award ceremonies, you know, it really lifts my heart because people come out, they love it, the whole board's there, you know. Oh, no, but you don't have to come. But I just wondered, anyway, so should we at some point address this as a board or?
Yes, review it. If the board want to reinstate having events, then by all means talk to the governance manager and we would budget, we would do another DO.
Okay,
But events cost money.
Cool. Thank you. Can I just clarify? You're not taking that as a recommendation from now. You're saying that we'll have a conversation about it.
If the board comes to the governance team and say we would
like to discuss it, review it,
like to have run events, then we would look at it.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks. Obviously, so does hosting stuff costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
And majority of this cost is for the postage, $1,500. I thought a while back we actually went and hand delivered as a, you know, get a few.
I have done that in the past.
It seems like quite a lot of a cost. Like if we're looking at an event, you know, it's what is that, 2.5, 3K. Well, it's $1,500 to just post it. I'd probably rather spend $1,000 having an extra $1,000 having an event. We're going.
It's not everyone will come to the event.
We don't actually
Close. Yeah, but
but I take your point still.
But in saying that, if we're looking at cost, then I'd rather actually also hand deliver it as well. So just that thought there.
We can also think like a combined annual event, all these awards together, including community services awards. Doesn't have to be just one type of award. Just a thought.
So, yeah. So sorry, with the so it is, we don't actually run it at all, do we? So the horticultural, the beautifying association run it. So I've been involved in it for the last few years and things like that. And I always wonder how the streets are picked because we've got some beautiful streets and I keep saying, well, haven't you, you know, like, why is this one not involved? Why? It seems a little bit, it's exactly right. Like there is a lot of repetition. And a lot of the same people. I also went to the awards and, you know, there was a lot of same going on. Slightly stodgy would have been my sort of view
That's why we started
of it.
garden ones.
And, you know, like I'm thinking that if we're going to put this amount of money in, perhaps the Beautifying Association could come to the local community boards and get some ideas of streets and things that they know, because once again, we're here to provide local information. So I'm sure that, you know, like we might be able to add some streets into and just help, you know, like sort of ramp it up a little bit. Like that. So perhaps we could ask them if they could come to us for some suggestions this year as well.
Good point.
Well, they do say they drive down this street.
Yeah. Cool. So for now, for this time, we have got great thoughts. For this time, we are happy to carry on.
Yes.
Yeah. So I put the motion on table, everyone say aye.
Aye.
I do have, oh, Mike and Pauline, I just appointed them.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, now, item number 19. So I would like to know who wishes to be appointed to Northwest Christchurch Community Sporting Trust, Keep Christchurch Beautiful Committee, and Christchurch Beautifying Association. We can vote separately if that needed, or if there's only one person interested, then we don't need to vote.
Do we need to appoint to all of them? Or do we have to find it?
I'd like to know the interest.
So I'm currently on the Northwest Christchurch Community Sporting Trust, and I'd like to remain on for now, if that's okay. I've done it for the last 3 years. And I'm just waiting to see how the diary rolls, because there's a lot going on. So I'd indicated to the board that I'd put my hand up again, but I'll review it in about 12 months to see where I am. And if I do need to step down, I'll bring it back to the table for another appointment.
Sounds like a plan.
Happy to do that because it's not particularly onerous.
Yeah, yeah, no, are we all happy with Victoria to be appointed? Okay, cool. Yep. And
I've done,
Keep Christchurch Beautiful.
yeah, I'm happy. I've done a terrible job at keeping up with them in this term, but I'd like to do better. So I'm very happy to put my name forward.
Okay.
for Keep
Is there anyone else interested? No, Emma, hereby you appointed them. Yeah, I've got a last one.
Yeah.
Christchurch Beautifying Association.
There is an opportunity for 2 members for Keep Christchurch Beautiful, but one should work if we've only got interest in 1 member. Yeah.
I think they're lacking at the moment. They're very much lacking if there is help around the table.
Ashley? Maybe your first involvement?
Christchurch Beautifying Association.
Yes.
3 years, I don't doubt it very much.
Right.
So,
Not how busy.
so we've got, Emma, you're only with Christchurch Beautiful Committee, not with the Beautifying Association?
No.
And the Beautifying Association, the only role there is they want someone to drive around with them in the van.
Well, I actually do that. So, and yeah, we've
Yeah.
got quite a relationship.
Okay.
So
So
You might as well
you're
do
on
it
both
on
then, Emma?
And that-
You're happy to be on both? Okay,
And that's all it is.
yeah.
cool. So we don't need to vote on any because we've only got one person. Cool. Next item is that we need to check whether we need chair to have a casting vote or not.
Pardon?
Chair will have a casting vote or not.
I'll move no.
Oh,
Second, no.
no, yeah.
Yep. So Pauline and Jake.
And
Yep. Everyone in favor? Say aye. Oh, carried. Next is our board area report.
Do we, sorry,
Hang on.
Hang on.
No, oh, meeting dates, gosh, am I?
can I,
Why is it in blue?
can I move then all of the remaining recommendations with the Monday option for both meetings and information sessions? Does that work?
Yeah.
Second.
Mondays, yeah.
Sorry, now what are you saying? Sorry?
So from next year, all our meetings are Monday, 4 p.m. And we are aware that there are a few public holidays going to come. And in that case, if there is a burning agenda, then we will look on Thursday evenings. If not, then it's good for us in that way. But depends on, staff has assured me that they'll work together to make sure that they save our time.
Yeah, I've got to say, this does clash with the Northwest Christchurch Community Sporting Trust, which is on Monday.
Is it the same Monday?
No, well, that's what I need to go and check, but that also doesn't start until 5. So I may just, if there's important agenda items, I might just rejig the agenda order or something, and then I can manage both. I'm sure I can make it work.
And they'll do once a month, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, so.
It's not the same one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it's good if it is.
All right, so everyone happy with Monday 4 p.m.?
Yep.
Simon is mover and Pauline is seconder. And everyone say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got that. So that was the Mondays and everything else.
Yeah.
Brief. Resource, recess committee, have we done that?
That's, yeah, we've done a lot.
Welcome again, Trevor and Jason.
Area board report. produced by Mark, magnificent document. And it pleases her.
Good, Pauline.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if we're being visible enough around the McFarlane Park work, because we've had that drop-in session there when we had all that kerfuffle about the trees, and the staff were there with the big plans on the master plan for the park, and the talk about the toilets and the fact we've got to get it into a program, blah, blah, blah. But I noticed in the minutes of the liaison meeting the other day that they had at Koinga last Thursday, I think, this came up in conversation again. Are these people aware that it's a work in progress and that it is happening? Or do they think there's nothing happening at McFarlane Park? Because this came from the Shirley Trust representatives themselves. Sort of got me a bit bamboozled. Or are they just trying to keep the plate spinning, which is fair enough?
I think they're pretty excited with the opportunity to talk about McFarlane Park.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot going on. I know Stacey's leading the charge with the rugby league club. I know that the park has developed since I've been here, and as you know, magnificently. It's completely different to what it was, and their birdsong trail work and gardens are just blooming.
I know, but it's the other side, the northern side, and it's the toilet block particularly they need. And has kind of already started building on those sections. Looks like something's happening. Yeah, so that opportunity's the centre there. But so when would we expect another update on the progress on the master plan and the toilets?
I defer to
that. Or is it, do we have to make a LTP submission for funding on that? I don't know where the funding sits.
I think there are conversations about the renewal of the toilets and the changing rooms. There is, I don't think there's any tag for a master plan. The board might want to look at that when they look at their community board priorities. To add that, and next year when you look at your board plan, maybe you might want to consider that. Otherwise,
we will.
We're going on with RSL doing a pre-feasibility study for the hub that you guys gave some koha last board meeting to do. So there's lots of moving parts. So having a kind of centralised kind of overview as a master plan might be a great idea.
I think so, and as a board, I think we could get in behind this and drive it because it's in dire need of a revamp there. So when are we going to start work on our plan and priorities? Early next year?
Yes, from end of January to February, there'll be lots of conversations, and then obviously we will send out dates of, because obviously you'll make a draft, that'll go out for consultation, we'll get community feedback, and then you'll make your decision.
Okay.
So
well, let's make sure that we do have the McFarlane Park master plan in there so we can, maybe we might be able to secure a little bit of funding in one of the annual plans for development or feasibility work, but we'll probably need the LTP to get decent funding. Thank you.
Thank you, Pauline. Does anyone else have questions? Thank you. Do I have
I'll move.
Simon moving, Mike is seconding. Everyone in favour say aye.
Aye.
Wonderful.
Lovely photo, Sunita, page 1.
There's a photo of me as well.
Lovely photo, Sunita.
You're cool. All right, elected member exchange. I'll go last, but anyone else? Yep, quick.
Oh, just comment that the Kiraroo is now in flight. It's on the wall up at Papanui Bush. Dennis McMurtry's really worked really hard to bring that. That was great to see it in some media coverage. And if you haven't seen it already, pop up to Papanui Bush and have a look. It's really sensational. And I hope that in time that mural will be added to in coming years.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Just on that, I walked around there the other day, and it's just amazing how much it's just incredible how much it's grown and become a real asset.
Can I just quickly comment on the opening of the Lancaster Park rooms, and that was just a fantastic day. Jake, you made a really good speech, went down really well.
Someone wrote it for me.
But it's all in the delivery.
Oh, is it? Okay, sweet.
Like, you know, a good joke, you know. it's
Oh,
all
yeah,
in the
yeah,
delivery.
yeah, yeah. Well, Mike was there, so it was easy to rip on.
But, and then once we get the rest of the work done on there, it's just.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
And so I think council's just getting through all these, beautiful projects really well now, once we get, sure we move. So, everyone you tick off just makes the city stronger and better and more vibrant and more people are able to get out and use all these things. So what that is going to have is with the playground and the hard courts and the cricket nets and the fields and the function centre is just brilliant for that area. So that was really great to attend. It was exciting.
Thank you for coming as well.
No, look, thanks for thanking me for coming.
Okay, thank you.
Do you want to sing Kumbaya as well?
Just a couple of quick ones. It's sort of school, school award season, and Ashley and I were at Te Kura Mataraka Northcote Primary School. Was that yesterday? Yes. Yeah, recently, maybe Wednesday. So it's been a busy old week, and yeah, really great assembly, and yeah, just it's really great to see what came out of a board meeting with principals turn into the gifting of the awards, and to see that rolling through a couple of years in now, and seeing people impacted by that has been really positive. I was also at Northcote Primary School last weekend. There's a group called Glass Ceiling Arts Collective, which is a sort of performance arts and performance group for children with disabilities. Use the hall there at weekends, and they had an end of year event, dance performance and a few other things. That was pretty cool. They're a group that has a citywide reach, but they're based in Papanui and at Northcote. That's the Christchurch end of an organisation that's also active elsewhere. They're reasonably small and they're on a bit of a shoestring, and I've been in touch with them about funding, and I've directed them to our staff about potentially talking to us in the future about some contribution to that. But yeah, it was really impactful, really cool to see. And that was my board activities for the month.
Cool.
Can I just add the Special Olympics are on at the moment as well? Prompted me on that. And if you haven't been into Parakiori yet, going along and watching the Special Olympics in the next couple of days will allow you to get in and have a look before it actually opens. And of course, Parakiori is open to the public at 5:30 on the 17th of December. Does anyone want to join me? That's 5:30 a.m, Jake. In your ward, expectation of the local councillor to be there. But also, check online for the program for the Special Olympics. We have 1,200 athletes in town. Was at the opening yesterday. It's absolutely phenomenal. The excitement is just electric, and it's really wonderful to see. So I encourage you to pop along and have a look to either Ngāpunui or Parakiori.
Just on pools, the Edgware Pool, 43A Edgware Road, is having a open to the public to view the progress on the pool this Saturday between 11 and 1.
Okay.
So get along there, tell your friends to come and have a look. That's amazing. Have you seen it, Tree?
I haven't.
Come along. They've got a coffee cart there and stuff. Vegan sausages too. Please let them come along and have a look. Maybe we should put it on our.
Thank you. Now, for me, school board awards, this morning I went to Casebrook. It was so lovely to, give the award on the stage, because the young gentleman came to me later on and I said, "Oh, what's your plan?" "I want to be a leader." Well, okay, that's the award I give it to him. So super excited and to see such a pride on his face. I felt, that we are doing a good job in there. Couple of schools actually I've been. Liaison meeting, Mike was there. For me, it was actually in detail was the first meeting when I attended. I would encourage all of us whenever we get chance to join these meetings, because they were really insightful. Things were written on the paper, but the conversation, that was the most important one. And the most beautiful thing which I picked up from there was, and which every single group echoed, was that how they all work with each other and interdependency and feeding into each other's work. So I think that collaboration came out to me tonight. Magic in our community. So if we can encourage that more and let people introduce each other, they'll be helpful.
It was the liaison meeting.
Liaison meeting,
We
yeah.
used to call it the interagency.
Interagency, yeah. So it was good. It was really nice, yeah.
What I liked too was getting the minutes from there. I don't think
we received the comments, feedback, yeah.
It's good to see that.
But yeah, and Christmas holidays time. So stay safe, everyone. Merry Christmas and happy holiday. Thank you for this year. And next year we'll be back on. Emma.
So just three wee things. Firstly, the working together. So they were talking about the hub, the Phillipstown hub. And so we've had one of their users come to the centre and they wanted to use the centre, but we couldn't fit them in for all of their things. So we've actually managed to go to other groups and places in St Albans so that they're not all together, but they are in the same area.
Yes.
The other one is I got my bike stolen a few weeks ago and it ended up, I tracked my phone down to Gloucester Street Courts, which has some social housing down there. And I was talking to the locals and things like that. Apparently a lot of stolen stuff turns up down there as well. And I was just wondering if we'd be able to follow up with the housing place to see if they can get the security camera reworking. Because the neighbours, so my feedback from the neighbours were they were scared because of the number of people that were entering the property, dropping off lost and stolen stuff. Are we able to sort of pick that up and just see if we can get that security camera looked over by?
Is it OCHT?
OCHT, yes, it's OCHT.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Street courts, it's the courts.
And they're reporting to police though?
Well, probably not, no.
Yeah, that's
Friday.
Yeah, probably not. These people don't tend to report anything like that to the police. So, I mean, I did.
Yeah.
I reported it to the police and I reported that the security camera wasn't working, but I'm wondering if we can actually back that up and make sure it is. And the other thing was just, again, the Trafalgar Street issues on Trafalgar Street. Again, it's part of this whole wider area. So, when Courtney Street's up, but the whole wide area, there's issues all around the area with cars. Yeah, it is. And so we have to make sure, I just, want to bring it up so people think about it let's not make sure that we're not moving the issues to another street because actually all of the streets have got major issues that are just getting worse. Yeah. That's me.
Thank you. Ashley, would you like to speak? Anything? How was it so far?
Fabulous, thank you. It's been really good. I've been to a couple of places like the village, seeing how many activities they hold there, which is quite amazing to see from a wide range, from someone being 0 to someone being 88. Really enjoyed my time during.
Yeah, what do they do with the 90-year-olds?
They do prevention of mobility, and there's just all sorts. It's fantastic, like exercises classes. Net and also with Simon yesterday, just the heart the children have is phenomenal. And just how passionate that you could just see the teachers and the principal really dedicating a lot of extras to these children. It's phenomenal to see.
Sorry, just to add, I spoke to Mark from Casebrook Intermediate. I think he came to us as well, so I recognized his face, and he also talked about principal's breakfast. So Mark will work on that and will let us know. So hopefully.
There's a wee thing I thought. I was talking to the old mature gentleman next to me when I was at the assembly.
Simon.
No, not Simon. No, the other side of me. It's a bit vicious. And he is one of the oldest pupils that's ever gone there.
Oh.
So I don't know how you guys, I'm just approaching something that I thought would be really kind. Like he is at the Kaipui Rotary Club and they donate all the time. He's always shown his face every year. I know back in my day at my primary school, we had a tree and we had a little plaque, like just, I don't know, recognising a member that.
Community service.
Yeah, but also it just helps with that school to get a bit of more love and community vibe. I thought it'd be quite a nice wee thing that maybe we as a community could look at. You know, doing something special like that.
Nomination for community service award.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, like just dedication.
And if it's presented at the school.
That's right.
Yeah, and it's something the school can celebrate.
No, you can
Give back.
Now you can encourage them to, apply for it. Yeah, that is good.
When do those nominations to? Might be quite good to get a kind of little timeline of things like that on
Or even in our calendars, just say opens now, kind of.
Yeah. Calendar
entries. To see ahead of time, neighbourhood week and community services and business communities and, just the dates.
All right, that's that all. Thank you. So before I close, thank you everyone. Thank you to staff for holding the court and go well, everyone.
Thank you.
Good first meeting.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.